Unfortunately, the cost of living crisis had tremendous effects on British youth sector. My youth club was directly affected by this crisis, and we had to move to a smaller building. We had to cut the amount of sessions we deliver to young people, directly affecting the lives of many of them.
What I want to see as a youth worker from the next government is proper resourcing of the sector. Whether that's offering funding so that youth clubs can get one-to-one support for young people, get the materials and staff they need, the specialist training, or even just the space and the building so they can offer out the services.
We also need a real conscious effort to look after the infrastructure that we are in. With the cost of living, people are struggling, organisations are struggling. We've lost over 700 youth organisations and counting. And what we have to do now is we have to understand that without that investment, we are going to struggle. So I urge you to invest, help us with sustainability, help us with the cost of living, help us to sustain our profession.
In terms of workforce, we are quite limited. We do rely on volunteers, but in terms of, for example, hiring full-time staff, that's something that we as an organisation cannot, afford to stay for a long term. It's a lot of people taking the time out of their 9 to 5 and contributing their time.
Someone who's been involved in youth work for over 20 years, what I want to say to the incoming government and the Prime Minister is we've faced all the cuts, but now's the time for you to now invest in us and invest in the young people. We do everything as asked upon us as youth workers and our profession, but we don't get the same level of respect that everyone else gets.
I used the word sustainability before, and what that is being able to have a consistent workforce. Over the years of running, we've had so many youth workers come and go because we have not been able to provide a consistent work. A lot of people see youth workers and think, oh, we don't have to pay them fully. But this is where it's not true. The things that they provide to clubs and to the young people, I'd say they should be paid much more than maybe other help organisations or other roles. So sustainability is being able to have the youth workers trained and also being able to pay them properly for what they do.
Young people need youth work because they need a safe place to go at all stages of their development. They need a youth worker that can give them support as and when they need it. And that might be just to come in and have a chat to. It might be for someone to show them different skills and different opportunities that might be available. And everyone should have access to a youth club or a youth provision near them.
I believe that the next Prime Minister will be able to save our British youth sector by addressing various issues the youth organisations face daily and funding various youth club activities to ensure that all children can access equal opportunities.
As a young person, and I'm sure many other young people can relate to me, is that when we see, whether that be Parliament or whether that be leaders within our communities and the country itself, we don't really see people like ourselves represented. It's usually people that are 30, 40, 50 years older than us that are deciding what's going to happen with our future. And not to be morbid or anything, but they're not going to be living in the future that they're setting.
Having a Secretary of State for young people will ensure that government is more joined up in terms of the policies and investment that is made for children and young people. We've been listening to our members and they're telling us it's time that we have that joined up approach. It's time that we have the reinvestment in the spaces and places where young people want to go. It's time that we have a focus on really ensuring that skills and employment opportunities are going to be there for our young people. I'm looking forward to a time where we can work together with government, with policymakers, where we can invest the resources and the time with the solutions, but crucially with young people's voices at the centre of that. This is an opportunity with the election for us to address the challenges young people are facing. Our members are telling us it's needed now, urgently.